welcome to part 2 of the BI-3181 assembly video. Okay, another one of the most commonly asked questions is how to get this bugger on the gun. This is the M203 replica grenade launcher. This actually is almost purely cosmetic, as the BB function on it is incredibly weak, and it serves merely, I guess, as a novelty value, because it serves no real skirmishing purpose, at least in our eyes. But, I don't know. If you feel that you can own some faces with it, then I guess power to you, because you humiliated them. Anyway, so this is the only purpose it really functions as. Say, you'll fire one BB and pump it like that, and then you can access the magazine compartment for this, so you can use it by, like a real M203 or one of the higher end ones, pushing in on this lever right here, sliding this forward, and on the bottom right here you can see that you have a release latch right here. So you push back on that and pull the magazine out like so. And here's the magazine. Small little thing, only holds about like 10 or 7 rounds or so. So slide that back in place. Shouldn't go anywhere. Okay, there you go. As you notice, there's a Tamiya connector coming out the top of it, and as I said before, this can serve as a battery compartment, which is actually located right here in the front of the barrel. You can see the Tamiya connector right there. You can actually put your battery in here, which I'll show you in a few moments how to do. Okay, so the first step to getting this on is to disassemble the original configuration you had. This is the RAS setup, so okay. So what you want to do is take the bottom rail off by pulling on this collar right here and lifting it off like that. Okay. You can put that on back the same way. You want to make sure that goes this groove first. You'll see a groove cut into the front of this. In the future, you can just put it back on like this. It's not hard doing this upside down, so bear with me. Okay, you put it back on like that. But since we're trying to take it off, it comes off. Let's get them out. Okay, so take off the top rail. The Tamiya, the male Tamiya that comes out of the gun, will have a little bit of trouble trying to get out of one of these smaller holes, but it's easily done by lining it up with the hole and just pushing it out like that. Okay, so next thing you want to do is get the battery out of the PEC box. So get the battery out, put all your accessories aside that you took off, and you should just have a outer barrel exposed right here. Okay, notable features you want to keep an eye out for are these indents on the barrels. There's actually a seating for the rear barrel mount for the grenade launcher, which is located right here near the retention collar for the heat shield. Okay, and that there's a groove milled into the barrel. This is present on real Colt M4 models for the same purpose as the grenade launcher. See, there's 2 different grooves for a long type grenade launcher and a short type. So I believe this one uses a short type mount. So okay, so you want to take the grenade launcher, and first what you want to do is you want to connect the Tamiya connectors, like so. There you go. Painless and easy. Okay, these right here, actually, I forgot to introduce. These are the external accessories. These are different size rail covers and a cap for the rear for the buffer tube. Okay. What you need is this hardware bag right here. This has all the brackets inside of it. They have little U-shaped brackets and a couple of plastic parts inside of them. Also some nuts and some screws. So you want to get that out. There you go. The first one you want to pull out is this guy, the U-shaped metal bracket. What you want to do is slide this over that seating, like so. Should sit something like that. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on that for you so you can see how it's supposed to seat. It should seat something like that. And then you want to take the rear portion of the grenade launcher, as you can see, there's holes right here in this portion. That's where the screw is supposed to go through, and then there's supposed to be a nut that goes on the other side. Okay, so you want to creatively maneuver this portion inside of the housing. If this proves to get in your way, disconnect it until you have the rear portion on. So, and usually you might want to eject the magazine because this can prove to get in the way too. So, take this portion right here. Zoom out a little bit so you can get an idea what I'm doing without being too clustered up there. Okay. So you want to creatively get this inside of that portion. Okay. Should you do this right, it should sit in there pretty snugly. Okay. So take the trigger guard for the trigger portion of the M203, and you want to clamp that onto the lip on the magazine well. You can do that by like that. That should aid holding the gun in place, and then you're able to take the longest screw that comes with this hardware kit, and you slide that right through. Sometimes it may not go through the other side. This is alleviated by the small screwdriver that comes with it. So, screw that through. Okay, sometimes it may not line up correctly. As you can see, I'm having difficulty doing that too. So, you might want to pinch down on the top of it like so. You want to carefully guide the screw through. You can visually see the screw moving around inside there. So, hand tighten the screw as you go along. So, once you have it partially threaded through, it should just go right through like so. Okay. So everything looks good on this side. Depending on what success you've had, there should be a little bit of screw from that side. Probably see it right there, so it's going to zoom in. Technical difficulties, folks, bear with me. Okay, you can see the screw right there. See the little threading of it. So take this nut right here, the small nut that comes with it, carefully thread it through, just gently. It'll be a little difficult at first, but once you get it on there, it shouldn't have any problems. So hold it in place like so. Take the screwdriver and just tighten it through, and it should be okay. Okay. It should sit pretty straight with the frame. This will help. The trigger guard will aid in getting it to sit straight. Okay, it's mostly together for the most part. So what you want to do is add the extra support to the front of the barrel, and you want to take this bracket right here. It's a two-piece bracket. It's going to zoom in on it. Assuming the remote wants to cooperate with me. Okay, you can see it. All right. The other screw you're going to need for this, there's two screws included with this. There's two small coarse thread screws that are included. This is just in case you lose that small screw. These will thread through on the top portion of the bracket, and the longer type screw will fit in the bottom portion of the bracket along with a small nut as before. So, zoom out. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take both of these brackets and you want to mount them on accordingly. There really is no real way you need to mount them correctly, just as long as they sit straight on this. Okay, you notice there's two holes right here, so just zoom in on this for you so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Usually the best way is to take both halves, and you want the bottom portion of the screw, which is the flat part right here, as you see. These parts right here, you want these to touch the bottom. Watch, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so take this one, put it on the barrel and grenade launcher like that. It should look something like that. Okay. And the circular hole side, you need to use the screw on. As you can see, it's circular right there. On the other one, it's actually hexagonal shape. As you can see right there. Okay, so take this and thread it through. Sometimes you may have to align it like you did with the other one. Okay, so it should just sit straight like that, or it'll be uncooperative. There you go. Looks good. Okay, so flip it over. Keep your finger on it because it will probably try to pop out of place. So take the other side of the bracket, like so. And then you want to put it over like that. Okay. Try and get the screw to thread through. Okay. The thread should push through. So take the nut, put it on this side. Okay. Once you've done that, keep your finger on that. Flip it over. Flipping it over. Sorry, guys. You could always put the top screw in first, which will aid in this, but I like doing things the hard way, so screw it down like so. There you go. Okay, now take the one of these small screws that come with it. Keep your extra just in case you lose this, and thread it through the top. Go, and it should be safe and secure, not going anywhere. Now, attach your Tamiya connectors as before. If they were proving to be a nuisance, some people can do it with them on. I try to be one of the cool kids. Push your Tamiya connector underneath the launcher and the barrel so it clears any obstructions up here, because you're not going to need to access Tamiya once you have the grenade launcher on the platform. So you can put one of two options on here if you want to attach any optics or lasers, or if you just want to keep the pack box on for aesthetic appeal. What you can do is just take the rail mount upper portion and slide it over like that. You can have it look like that, so it looks a little more going on up here, a little busy. So that's one way. And you could always take the standard AR-15 style hand grip and okay, like that, and make it look like one of the older Desert Storm EOD style M4s. So, but just because I like the style, so we're going to stick with this. Okay. And that's basically how you get the grenade launcher on. But the battery, as I mentioned before, there's a battery compartment in the front portion where the barrel is. So, slide off the barrel like so. Take your battery, and slide it inside of the housing like this, and then you can tilt it to the side like so you can actually fit the Tamiya in between there. So it's going to zoom in so you can see what's going on inside here. Okay. Gotta keep it straight, Okay, there. Alright, so take this, connect it, and just push that side of the housing. Wire should clear everything. Then slide this portion over it. Maybe a little tough to get on at first, but it'll fit over it eventually. And then that's how you put on the grenade launcher. It's fairly not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's doable, and so that's why we did this video for you. Okay, and then once you've done that, lock and load. You have a tactical style grenade launcher. In the next segment, we'll show you how to install the AR style foregrip, which is way easier than the aforementioned problems. So stay tuned.